Greetings, Father Campo here. Want a little reflection on this Friday, January 22nd, as virtually, I suppose, we observe the March for Life. You know, some thought first about the March for Life being virtual. Some people have objected and made their objections known, but one thing comes to mind. You know, it's very good and important for us to march, but even more important for us is to make reparation. Because Our Lady taught us at Fatima that it is through sacrifice that we save sinners from hell and we bring down peace upon our nation. So as we observe this March for Life virtually, or Respect for Life, let us make reparation for the sin and the outrage of abortion. To that end, I want to bring to light, if we want to make reparation, we have to be more clear about our language. So I want to first apologize that, to God in my prayer and to the church abroad, that we have failed in a lot of ways to do this. We have failed to make clear the church's teaching on human sexuality, to enforce it, to make reparation for the offenses, and therefore, we have so many years of it going on now. So there are more offenses to be made reparation for, but I want to bring to light one, because it is in the news now. And that is of the embryonic cell lines that are derived from aborted fetal cells. It's a good example of how we just hide away the truth of the problem and use nice language to make it just kind of go away. So one would be the cell line HEK293. I'm sure everyone has heard of that. It's been in the news lately. Some Catholic people have talked about it. But what isn't widely known, I didn't know it till this week, read an article from Crisis Magazine about it, put a link for in the description, is that, first of all, 293 indicates the number of attempts that they had to make in order to get a viable cell line. With 293 attempts, it's very logical to conclude there were multiple abortions that were done for this. Contrary, it's sort of presented like, yeah, one abortion that happened a long time ago was probably a miscarriage. That's just not true. The HEK stands for human embryonic kidneys, because they needed the kidney cells. And so what actually happened is it's pretty gruesome. So actually, if you have young ones going around, you might want to cover their ears, bring them to another room, fair warning, or pause the video. So from the Crisis Magazine article, HEK stands for human embryonic kidney. To harvest a viable embryonic kidney for this purpose, sufficiently healthy child old enough to have adequately developed kidneys must have been removed from the womb alive, typically by cesarean section, and have their kidneys cut out. This must take place without anesthesia for the child, which would lessen the viability of the organs. Instead of being held, rocked, and comforted in the time of intervening between birth and their death, they have their organs cut out alive. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel outrage at this truth. I might not have been comfortable with it before, but I feel outrage. How dare we think that this is an okay thing? And that's just one cell line. There's similar stories from the others, as confirmed by a Catholic biologist, Pam Ackers. And she confirmed, too, that this method of harvesting the cells is the way that they do it. And you know what it also reminds me of? A patroness of the pro-life movement is Our Lady of Guadalupe, like I have up here. I just have her head. And in Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico, she appeared to the Mexican people to save the continent. The whole story is something for another time, but as you may have heard, before Mexico was conquered by the Spaniards, the different Mesoamerican Indians practiced human sacrifice, and they would take them to the top of their temples, and it's not just the Aztecs, but all of the Mesoamerica, or many at least of the tribes, and they would go to the top of the temple, cut out organs with their hearts still beating, particularly the heart, and then throw the bodies over the side of the temple. Rightly, people then and now are outraged by this practice, but in some ways, they had a better excuse than us. They had no Christianity. They didn't have the gospel. They literally believed the world would end if they didn't do this practice. And then when Our Lady came and revealed that there is another way to sustain the world without human sacrifice, and that is Jesus, they converted. Millions of them. What do we do? Well, for today, I just want to bring this to the fore as one example of the many things we need to make reparation for. Another one is having a prominent politicians and now a president who call themselves Catholic and think that the slaughter of innocent children is okay. On the eve of the pro-life march, President Biden revoked the Mexico City policy so that we can have federal funding of abortion abroad. That is a scandal. It's an offense, right? But it's a scandal that a Catholic would be the one who does such a thing and proclaim his Catholic faith. They made a very big point to say that President Biden went to Mass before his inauguration. Now, he's not the only Catholic who has done such things, and certainly there are many offenses that we need to make reparation for. The silence of priests, for example, on this issue. But I hope that you will join me today in making prayers of reparation and offering sacrifice to heaven for the conversion of our nation. That through our prayers and through our witness and through heaven's intercession, we may draw down peace and mercy upon our nation. My brothers and sisters, may God bless and keep you.